That's our top focus, because the next time you book an IndiGo flight, your suitcase could decide how much you end up paying. India's biggest airline has unveiled a brand new fare category called IndiGo Lite, designed for passengers traveling with only cabin baggage. If you travel light, you'll pay less. If you check in a suitcase, you'll have to pay extra. It's a model that common European airlines and, of course, North American airlines conduct. Now, it's landing here in our own backyard. Beginning the 15th of July, passengers booking directly through IndiGo's website, the application, or the contact center can opt for this new fare on both domestic and international flights. Now, the promise is simple: pay only for what you use. No free checked baggage, just your cabin bag, an auto-assigned seat, and the option to add services separately. The entire system unbundled, essentially. And for short business trips, weekend getaways, and travelers carrying just a small backpack, this could make flying a little cheaper. But how cheaper really? And here's where the debate actually begins. How much do you save? Because the actual savings is currently only around 150 to 300 rupees on many of these routes. That's barely the price of a sandwich at most of the airports. So is this really a budgetary revolution, or simply another way of charging separately for services passengers once took for granted? And the airline says this reflects changing customer preferences. Industry experts say it reflects something else as well: the rising fuel costs, intense competition, and airlines looking for new ways to improve profitability. Now, globally, airlines like Ryanair, EasyJet, British Airways, Lufthansa, Air France, I mean, the list is long, have long embraced these unbundled fares. Now, India appears to be moving in that same direction. But Indian travelers, they're a different lot. Many travel with families. Many carry more luggage. And for them, this light fare may not feel very light at all. So is this genuine consumer choice, or the beginning of a future where every service, from baggage to seat selection, comes with a separate price tag? Is this really the future of aviation as we know it, or simply a smarter way for airlines to earn more from every passenger? And who really benefits? Is it the traveler or the airline? Let's open that up to our guests on the panel tonight. Vipul Saxena, aviation expert, with us on the broadcast, and Professor Bijon Misra, consumer policy expert. Many thanks, gentlemen, for taking out the time. You see, Mr. Saxena, IndiGo says that this fare is meant for passengers who travel light with just a backpack and want to pay only for the services that they really use. From your assessment, from your own reading, is this really consumer-centric, or is it primarily a new revenue strategy that's borrowed from a global low-cost airlines being implemented here in India, sir?
I would call it a lip service.
Okay.
Because by offering this kind of package, the amount of extra cargo load that airline will be able to carry
Yeah.
is them much higher amount than what they are actually offering to the passengers. The basic problem with the Indian aviation sector is they always look for opportunity how best they can make their profits. They care nothing about passenger comfort or passenger ease or passengers benefits. Unlike you go abroad, you see foreign airlines, the way they treat so nicely laid aircraft, such a good food quality, variety of food, so many things. But Indian air carriers, they only look for how to make maximum money from all kind of sources. So I
But
really,
Mr. Saxena, what about the passenger that does not want to cough up extra money for the food, or for the seat selection, or for that extra baggage? I mean, to that passenger, this seems like a lucrative offer.
but mostly passenger who travel this kind of distance, they often order this kind of extra services. So it really doesn't matter much the kind of offer they're given to the passenger. I mean, these are peanuts. If they're really given something more, like I can suggest various things, like they can make a kind of family module kind of a thing. Like suppose I got 5 members in my family,
Yeah.
okay, blood relatives, my wife, my daughter, my son, and suppose I travel to Delhi carrying only 7 kgs. My allowance is 15 kgs. So 8 kgs can go into my account, like you collect flying miles, and then a quota can be created Tomorrow, suppose my daughter goes to college with a lot of luggage, she can use that extra 8 kgs. If this kind of things was introduced, I would have really appreciated. But I don't think that there is much
But is that
more.
really practical? I mean, if I end up saving 100 kgs worth of flight baggage in terms of that miles, next time there is going to be no room for any other passenger's luggage, just mine,
No, it is
100
not like
kilograms.
that. It is no. Ultimately, you can always put a cap on that. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it. Then there can another option. You got so many flying miles. People keep flying up and down. You can always offer some kind of encashing flying miles for extra services. If those kind of things are offered, then there is something attractive for the passenger. I really don't give too high score to IndiGo or any airline introducing this kind of service.
Okay. Professor Misra, what's your assessment here, sir? Because this flying miles is already a carrot and stick formula. People go crazy after it, but how much do you really get out of those accumulated flying miles? Many of them expire before you can actually use them or get to that particular amount where you get something beneficial out of those flying miles. Consumers, you see, from their perspective, they often compare ticket prices without looking at what's really included in that ticket. Introducing more of these fare categories, now you've got IndiGo Lite. Does this improve the consumer's choice? Or does it make price comparison more confusing? There is another option that you have to deal with now.
So, Kabir, let me share with you the history.
Yeah.
You know, on 25th of August 2003, we started with something called budget airline. Till date, we don't know the definition of budget airline. You know, as far as the regulation is concerned, as per the regulator's definition, there is nothing which tells you what is a budget airline, and now a light ticket option is coming. Now we don't know what it entails. You see, at the end of the day, no airline, let's understand and let's tell your viewers, the passengers, that anything comes free. Nothing comes free. You know what they say about 7 kg by hand and 15 kg check-in, it's all paid for. Let's understand that.
Yeah.
If you carry 1 ounce extra, you would have to pay for it.
Yep.
You know, as you know, and there is a lot of haggling which goes on. You know, because I say that I'm not carrying 7, I'm carrying 4, so I should carry on 3 kgs for my check-in extra. But they don't allow. They argue with you at that point of time. They are not very encouraging. So the bottom line is that you are creating a new category. But are you protecting that category in terms of delivering what you are promising them? Let's understand that. You see, I have not been able to understand that till date because the complaint redressal mechanism within the airlines is extremely poor. And how many airlines know about Air Seva portal? Today, you know, they were supposed to make Air Seva portal one of the most easy to reach for consumers in terms of grievances. They have stopped advertising now about it. The airlines are supposed to talk about more and more, but they have stopped it intentionally because they don't want complaints to get escalated to the regulator. And Air Seva is managed by the air regulator. So what my contention is, we should make Air Seva portal very, very popular amongst the air passengers. Because what I have understood is, the people working behind under the Air Seva portal, they are very, very sensitive towards passengers' vows and their complaints. And government definitely looks at it very closely because I had several discussions with the present Director General of Civil Aviation, and he said that they look at it very seriously, all these complaints. But the passengers unfortunately don't know because the airlines don't tell them. And what I'm trying to tell you is all this light business is, come on, you know, it is just trying to ensure that they just build an image that we are talking about the people who fly with chappals and things like that. No. Sorry. Don't create a misinformation.
For that one-off passenger, maybe if I were to travel to, let's say, Mumbai tomorrow and, you know, I really don't need to carry any luggage, it's really lucrative for me. But then again, I'm saving a maximum of 200 to 300 rupees. That's it. So a passenger may save 200 rupees initially, but may later significantly spend more on baggage or seat selection or, you know, food or meals or whatever this unbundled theory comes across with. airlines now need to be required to showcase a total, spend on their main website. Maybe that's the kind of transparency in regulation we
No,
need
the
now.
transparency, what I'm looking at, and this is what I've proposed, that every flight should transparently tell us that what is the charge, who has paid how much, and on an average, how much you have earned per seat, per flight. We want to know that as passengers. We want to know that because they would do a huge hype. They will make you go to their portal to do, online ticketing because they're eliminating the intermediary. No commission to any intermediary given by the airline because they are.
What intermediary, sir? What intermediary? If you book a ticket on one of those airline applications, look at from the actual official website, look at the internet handling fees that comes across. I mean, if 300 rupees you're saving here and a 900, 700 rupee you're paying for internet handling fees, for paying via UPI and all of that, what good is the saving of that 200 rupees? Which is what I'm saying. Mr. Saxena, look at this. Look at this. I'll come back to you, Professor Misra. I'll come back to you. Mr. Saxena, the fare difference, it currently appears, I could be wrong here, this is just early doors, July 15th is when it actually begins. The fare difference currently appears to be only around 150 to 300 rupees per, per route or one of those many routes per sectors. From an purely economics perspective, is that really enough? Is that enough to meaningfully change passenger behavior or reduce baggage handling costs? Today, a coffee at the airport or inside the air cabin will cost you much more than 150 rupees. I mean, they would charge you for water if they'd feel like it.
Absolutely. So I fully agree with you what you're saying. So I think it's got no significance. And rather, I was expecting today only government has reduced ATF prices, and quite a substantial price have been reduced.
Yeah.
I was expecting some relief would have come from the airlines in terms of reducing the fares, while they're not even offering a peanut. And they're trying to say that we are coming up with the
Peanuts are also not free, sir. Peanuts are also not free. They're part of a special package that you have to accept for whilst you're booking the ticket.
Yeah, and that the small package costs you 200 rupees.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about 150 and 300 rupees is nothing.
So don't take your luggage, get peanuts instead.
Yeah.
Is that so? Professor Misra, please complete your thoughts, sir. You were saying earlier.
No, Kabir, I mean, my panel expert is also equally very sensitive and giving very good, thoughts. What I want to tell you is fundamentally, I had been asking the airlines to come transparently in terms of the so-called buckets they call, that X number of seats will be sold at this price, Y number of seats will be sold at this price, and things like that. This light category will have no seats, let me tell you. They just want people to come to their website. They want to attract people to come to their website.
That's what the website says, Professor. It says that if you go for this light option, it's an auto-selected seat. The allocation of the seat is purely based on... So you'll get one right at the back. You'll probably get one, the non-reclining seat. You'll get one of those... I don't know. You'll get one of those unfavored seats.
The point is, it's an algorithm, what we have to look at. You see, today we are all moving towards AI. Now the airlines exactly knows that on which sector, how many seats will be sold 10 days before, 5 days before, or a month before. They exactly know that. And they know that this is just a gimmick where we want people to come to them saying that I'll give you a light, no baggage, no frills, nothing. You will not get a seat. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You please try to appreciate. Till they don't come out transparently telling us that how many seats will get allotted for light travel, till then I would not get convinced about this offer which they're talking about.
That's a good point. That is a good point. That's a very
Mr.
good point.
Mishra,
Yes, Mr. Saxena.
Mr. Mishra, I've been seeing you taking up a lot of consumers' issues very strongly. I share with you one live experience which I had yesterday.
Okay.
All these airlines, all these services which are coming on online basis, they've got very smart algorithm. I share with you my personal experience yesterday. I was ordering something from Blinkit, and I think the total amount was less than 499 or something. So the message came that if you add 100 rupees more, then we'll remove the delivery charge of 30 rupees from your bill.
Yeah.
I said, okay, let me add 100 rupees more. Moment I added 100 rupees more, that 30 rupees, went where? Surcharges. Now surcharge is applicable and that becomes 60 rupees.
Yeah.
So
Correct. Correct. So
it is only catch. It is only, they're just trying to catch
Yeah.
the fishes, the fooling around. So unless they prove that the intentions are on ground to
So,
really help
sir,
passengers,
are you
to
are you
really
saying that
take care of
this
passengers.
surcharge example that you just gave us, airlines across the world have increasingly unbundled their services baggage? That might work for the Western passenger setup, but it clearly does not work out for the Indian families that travel in big troops. Meals, seats, priority boarding. I mean, I was looking at this thing called fast forward. At the IndiGo when you're boarding a plane. I mean, you pay 500 rupees to enter the cabin 5 minutes before the rest of the lot. How does that essentially help you? So that you can sit down earlier and watch everybody that's coming in and tell them, hey, look, I paid 500 rupees. I mean, apart from, a class setup, it doesn't really help you. So is India witnessing the next phase of aviation where the base fares become cheaper, but the final bill ends up becoming more and more expensive? Professor.
yeah, Vipul bhai, thank you very much for appreciating my interventions. What I want to tell you is that, Kabir, the bottom line is, as I've always been saying, that overseas, you see, everything is very transparent. They tell passengers exactly how many seats are available in which category and how. Now, you see, I used to go in that fast forward. I used to pay that extra. Why? Because I needed my checked in baggage early. But they could never deliver it. So I had to raise an hue and cry. And subsequently, what happened? They continued taking the money, but they stopped giving you.
Does that really happen, Professor? I mean, I hate to, bring this up to you. Never really got a chance to spend that extra money on fast forward. But does the check-in luggage really arrive early if you've checked
No,
in
it
at
doesn't.
fast
That's what
forward?
I'm trying to tell you.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Does it?
That is
So
what
I
I'm saying.
demanded compensation. I
Okay.
demanded compensation. That is when they withdrew this service. They said subsequently to me that, sir, we have withdrawn this service. We can't get your baggage out first. So we will not charge fast forward henceforth for this. But then they kept on charging only for a fast check-in counter, which is exclusive for fast track. But there is nothing else apart from that.
And the fact that you get to board the plane earlier.
Get to see, as a senior citizen, I always get that privilege. But still, you see, what my contention is, I used to go for fast forward because I wanted my baggage out first so that I can get out of the airport as early as possible before the crowd comes in. So that was my motive behind it. But when it stopped serving, but then they package it in such a manner that I am bound to take that fast forward even if I don't want it. They push it on me, when I buy the ticket. So there is a lot of dark patterns existing in the airline business, which is actually forcing the consumer to pay for something which they are not actually accessing, and nobody is complaining to Air Seva. That is what I'm trying to tell you again and again. People should use Air
That should be
Seva.
the highlight of this show, sir. Many thanks for pointing that out. I think Air Seva is something that we must prioritize, and I hope that people take, the viewers, the passengers, take this away from this particular discourse and discussion, because one really needs to understand, Mr. Saxena, this unbundling, when does it really become excessive? And should there now be regulatory safeguards to ensure that passengers clearly understand what they're actually paying for before booking? You guys, you're aviation experts, you've traveled across various sectors, you probably have the flying miles in tens of lakhs, but not everybody has that privilege here, sir. So, and looking ahead, it seems like all of these other commercial airlines will start doing the same thing. There's a similar setup in other airlines as well, where you only pay for your cabin luggage if you don't have checked-in luggage. Is that the way where Indian Airlines is heading? And what is the right time to, put a full stop to it?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, you rightly said that I think it's only starting a new race among the airlines. And behind the scene, it is basically not to give passenger anything extra and grab that extra luggage which passenger would have taken and use that also for their own profitability. That is what I foresee.
And finally, Professor Misra, you see, looking ahead, if more airlines are moving towards this pay for everything model, from a consumer rights perspective, where do you think regulators should now be drawing the line? We heard your Air Seva point. That's absolutely incredible and pertinent. And I wish and I hope that people take it away. I'm going to cut a social media chunk for that and push it out on our mediaverse as well. But what else, sir? What else? Because we really need to protect and
Transparency.
safeguard our consumers.
We need transparency to ensure that we make an informed choice. The consumers are not able to make an informed choice. Number one, because there's a cartelization in the aviation business now, because the market is dominated by two airlines only as of today. So we should have more entries coming into the airline business, encourage people to invest on airline business and make it more competitive by making things more transparent in terms of fare structure. I do believe always as a passenger that the airlines must make profit, but they should not profiteer in a misleading manner.
They shouldn't exploit the passengers.
Yes, they are misleading and they are deceptive towards the passengers by becoming opaque, by not sharing information in a manner which needs to be shared.
I'll ask both of you one final question, acting as the devil's advocate here, because that's a great point that you made. Businesses need to make money as well for, from a very patriotic point of view, for the GDP to grow. I mean, businesses need to be making some money. So is there nothing good that's coming out of this IndiGo Lite, sir? Both of you. I'll start with Professor first.
Well, it needs much more assertiveness, in terms of the regulator oversight in bringing transparency and accountability and also fair competition at the marketplace. And of course, as I said, bringing in more airlines to come into the business, which, as you saw, got wound up. I've lost so many miles of mine, but they never treat the miles as a value for passengers. Now, again, we need to understand all that even people have not got their refunds from airlines which have gone bankrupt. You know all that.
There's going to be another catch. I was just thinking, now that you pointed it out, maybe if you book for these light tickets, you might not get the same amount of frequent flyer miles because you booked a cheaper ticket, which
not
is why
only that, you will not get a refund first. You will not get a refund, let me tell you.
No flexibility on these light tickets. That's for number one. I mean, the airlines have their own way of minting that kind of money. Mr. Saxena, your viewpoint. I think you began the discussion by saying this is nothing but lip service. Nothing good that's coming out of this light thing. Nothing good at all.
I think you already added my points that for getting this 150, 300 rupees, what passenger actually going to lose unless the things are transparent. Okay, we'll really not know because I always feel that Indian aviation sector is only hunting for making money. Yeah. I'm sure there must be some hidden agenda, some hidden formula. Like I had explained with Blanket yesterday, that if you take this kind of ticket, then something else will increase.
Yeah.
Okay, and you end up paying more than that. So government has to ensure that their websites and their fair mechanism has to be transparent and honest. There should be no hidden formula. There shouldn't be no manipulation of algorithm. Okay, then I think it can be trusted by the passengers.
Yeah, fair enough. Final 10 seconds. Professor, you wanted to add to that? I saw you raising your finger.
No, I just wanted to say that, you see, we don't want airlines to go out of business, as I mentioned earlier also. I want more and more airlines to come. We should make it attractive. We should encourage, healthy competition. We should encourage ethical practices. We should encourage investors to come who wants to do ethical business in India. We want that because there are a number of airlines all over the world who want to come and do business in India. But they're scared because of this unevenness, because they don't want to come to an environment or an ecosystem where, they don't find the competition healthy. They don't find the regulator pulling up the people who are adopting unethical practices. So I heard from all over the world that I don't want to get into India because it's in a mess. But we want aviation industry to grow. We want people to come. We as passengers want choice. We don't want the market to be
I agree,
dominated.
sir, but it seems like there are too many sips between the cup and the lip. And, you know, even as IndiGo rolls out this new light formula, whether this is the genuine consumer choice or simply smarter airline economics, only time will tell. And only passengers will decide. And, of course, their
I want to make
wallets
one
will
point,
decide.
last point.
We'll leave the viewers with that question. Mr. Saxena, I'm sorry, I've completely run out of time here.
Just
Professor,
one
many thanks for
point.
joining us.